So hi Thibault.
Hi.
We're here on Squarp Instruments booth, right?
Yeah, exactly. The Superbooth 2022. We're here to present Hapax. This is a two-project sequencer. So the idea is, let's say you have project A running and playing, and you can load something in project B in the background, and then you can blend between the two projects. So in a live situation, your live set doesn't have to stop. Per project you have 16 tracks, and per track you have 8 patterns. And the tracks can be drum tracks, like this one. It can be melodic tracks, or it can be MPE tracks. The whole workflow revolves around the 4 modes. So in live mode, well, it's a live controller. So on the melodic tracks, it's either an isomorphic keyboard or a chord generator, where these are the degrees of the scale, and these are modifiers for added taste. And on a drum track, these are 16 levels of velocity per drum, and you have up to 8 drums on one single drum track. So that's live mode in a nutshell. Step is the classic step sequencing mode, so where you just enter the steps. But we also have some parameters to play with. You can nudge things in time with micro timing. You can add probability that a note won't trigger with chance. You can add math, which is basically conditional triggering, and rolls, which are re-triggering. So that's step mode. In pattern mode, that's where you change a pattern. What's nice is that they're completely independent per track, so from track to track. So you can have, let's say, pattern 2 playing on track 1 and pattern 8 playing on track 5. So the shape that you draw with the pads, this can be saved as a section, because let's say this could be my chorus and this could be my verse. Yeah? And then, so you can easily switch between the two just with that screen. You can launch them. And you can save those sections, and then you can arrange them in what we call a song. So that can just play on the loop if you want. So yeah, that's the pattern mode. And finally you have automation mode, where you can just draw stuff really fast. So if you look at the screen here, just with a few points you can draw lines. And because there's interpolation on, but if you want some traditional CC sequencing that is stepped, you can just disable that. And oh goodness, then you can just go back to the traditional CC step sequencing. And the automations can go to pretty much anything you want. CCs, effects parameters, CV. We have indeed lots of effects, like our previous products. For now there's like a dozen, but we're adding more and more. And so in terms of I/O, you have 2 MIDI ins, 4 MIDI outs, 2 CV ins, 4 CV outs, 4 gate outs, a switch, which is basically a foot switch for, let's say you have you're doing live looping. You can control like the rack and stuff, and 2 USBs, a device and a host, and they're both inputs and outputs. So here you can, for instance, plug a Hapax into a computer, and here you can plug a keyboard in Hapax. So it's really, really extensive connectivity.
So when are you hoping to kind of have things ready? Is there a roadmap for when this will be released?
Oh, this was released in March, actually.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's no worries. But the confusing thing is it sold out pretty much instantly, so it's been on back order from the start. So we shipped all the units that we had, and it should be back in stock in June. But actually, because it's on back order, the stock expected to ship in June is already pretty thin now, and there's like about 10 units left for the June batch, and the next one should ship in August or September.
Is the kind of shortage or the small batch, is that anything to do with the chip shortage?
It totally has to do with that. Yeah, it's the chip shortage has been a real pain. We've dedicated multiple people just to source components. We've had to deal with component brokers, and we've had to pay 50x the price for some components. So, yeah, it totally has to do with that.
It's made it a lot harder, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So, how have you got this set up here now? Do you want to just talk us through
Yeah,
that?
for sure. So track 1 here is a drum track, which is controlling the Tanzbaus. Let me just go out of song mode. Yeah, so this controls the Tanzbaus here. Track 2 is controlling the Prophet. Track 3 is... Oh no, sorry. Track 2 controls the Polycinematic from Nobler. Track 3 controls the Prophet. This one. And track 4 controls Rompol, but it's muted at the moment. So I have 2 drum tracks and 2 melodic tracks. If I go here, so I just programmed a little drum and bass pattern. Yeah, and so this was all entered in step mode. But what you can do is, on top of effects which react live, you can use what we call algorithms, which are offline generation and transformation of events. So let's mute the other tracks to make this a bit easier to understand. So here, I have just the Tanzbaus, very basic. Let me go into algorithms, and this algorithm called every n, this will just generate accents every n. So here, just with 2, it's an accent every other note. On n equals 3, every 3 note, every 5. So you can really create variations super fast and have very, very fun rhythms and polyrhythms that way.
So you can apply these algorithms to individual tracks just by holding that track.
Oh
right?
yeah, here you can even apply those to selections, because you can select pretty much everything pretty finely. You can do selections in time, you can do selections squared. Let's say you have that. I can select here. I could also select just those 2 if I press second. So I just drew a square here. And yeah, you can just, there are lots of generators, algorithms. So generator is the simplest one to understand. It's the random generator. So if you look at the screen here, if I press just generate random patterns according to the parameters I set here, you have curves, which can apply curves to different parameters, such as the velocity. You can apply the curve to the length of the note. It can do all sorts of crazy stuff. A very basic algorithm also to understand the concept is the symmetry. If you press that, it just flips it in time or in pitch. So you can also convert those. It's probably easier to see on this screen. Yeah, lots of algorithms to use, and so pretty fine control over what you're applying it to.
Brilliant. And what is the final price on
without tax, it's 864 euros. So if you're VAT with roughly 20%, it's around 1,000 with tax.
Excellent. Thibault, thank you very much.
Yeah, welcome. Pleasure.